Good morning and welcome back. I have Black Betty back in the garage for another quick install. Today what we're going to do is replace the factory third brake light that we had to take off the factory spare tire carrier when we put on the LOD bumper and tire carrier. The LOD setup does not come with provisions for a third brake light, so it's kind of up to yourself to find one that works out for you. You have to check with your local state laws and regulations on third brake lights. Some states require them, some don't. Here in California, they're not required unless they were put on the vehicle originally, in which case you are mandated to keep all your lights in proper working order. So before you go modifying your brake lights and adding lights, make sure you check with your local laws and regulations on what best to do. So in this case, what I'm going to do is replace the factory third brake light with this Rugged Ridge LED light disc. I got this from Quadratech. It came in right about 60 some odd dollars for the light. Comes with some instructions, and then of course the light disc itself. Now, from what I best understand, is this light ring comes with a connector that will work for the JK series Jeeps. This is not set up to work for the TJ lights, which is what I have, but it looks like it's going to be simple enough. It comes with the red and black wire on this connector, and so what I'm going to do is when I took out the old brake light assembly from the TJ, I went ahead and cut out the wires from the brake light because you cannot simply unscrew this and remove a plug because it's hardwired directly to the light. So once I went ahead and got that wire cut out, it looks something like this. You have a red and black wire, the white wire traced with red and a black wire, and then you have the male-female connectors that I pulled out of the TJ trunk lid. So we're just going to connect these up to these wires right here, mount them on the tire carrier, and we'll be on our way. Alright, we'll pull these jumper cables off, jumper wires, and we're going to go ahead and cut these right here. I cut off the supply connector for the JK so I could splice in the necessary length of wire for my application. I also removed the attached plastic wire sleeve as I'm going to apply heat shrink later on. Now it's time to add about 8 feet of 16 gauge wire. I prefer to use solder and heat shrink over butt connectors or other popular crimping styles. I had to use about 8 feet of wire to account for the length of tracing the wire along my tire carrier and back to the tailgate. Now at this point I still had not reattached the TJ wire connectors. Alright, now that I finally have these wires all pulled through here, the shrink wrap, it's just an extra layer of protection. I'm going to go through and wrap it in this soft conduit afterwards, but I figured that this could probably be beneficial. Alright, so now that I've got all the tedious soldering done, what I did in this spare time, or in the meantime I should say, is I went ahead and got the bulk of this wire shrink wrap, and then I also went ahead and test fitted the wires on the tailgate to make sure that I have what I needed to get it all done. So now that I've got the TJ connectors for the brake lights soldered to the third brake light for the Rugged Ridge, I'm just going to go ahead and finish up my shrink wrapping right here on these connections. Just want to get these two solder points shrink wrapped so they're protected, and then I'll bring down this length right here over it to finish cleaning up the rest of the wires so they all match and are protected. And like I said, I'm also going to put some soft conduit over this thing too. This is just an extra layer of protection for the elements. Alright, so that's all set. We have the TJ plug soldered on to the Rugged Ridge third brake light. The next step is I'm going to get this wrapped up in some soft conduit and get it mounted on the tire carrier and be on our way. Alright, while I'm putting on this soft conduit here, this shrink wrap here, you can get this at pretty much any big box store. I got mine at Home Depot. It came in a roll, heat shrink like this, and then I just used some smaller pieces to do the wires. I'm kind of a big heat shrink wrap guy. I like how it makes things look clean and extra protected. I don't like the butt crimps or the one you splice on, because I just feel like there's more room for error. I figure you can't go wrong with soldering the wires together. And then with this soft conduit, what I found is the best bet is start at one end like this, while I'm starting off with the plug-in, and just feed it through, and it'll go on pretty easy. All right, so I got this ran onto the edge of this. I'm just gonna go ahead and cut it off right about at the plug right here. Let's see if I can get this cut off right. Right about here, maybe. Hopefully you don't cut yourself with a razor blade. Sorry, it's trash day. Sorry for the noise. Alright, there you have it. It's all ready to go. Get mounted on the Jeep, and we'll hit the next step. Now that I have the wires fished through right here, it's all sealed up and tight. All I gotta do now is make the connections, and I remember that the black one goes on top, and the white with red chasing, or red stripe, goes on the bottom. Get that right inside here. Plug into these connectors right here, and we should be good to go. Get that on there like that. Get that on there like that. So now when these contact points hit this, we should have a closed circuit and brake light should work. So I'll bring it back right here. And there you see the wires are fished up in here, and then come around here. I just have it zip tied and ran down here along the tire carrier and back up. So there you have it. The Rugged Ridge LED was like something like 80 some odd bulbs, I guess, goes on the edge of it. It's all mounted up, ready to go. So with any luck, when I go push the brake lights or brake pedal, we should have 3 brake lights again. See how it goes. Perfect, job well done. Now all we gotta do is get the spare tire mounted back on here, and this job is complete. All right, we're done. The install's complete. We're right about hour and a half for the total install. I think it looks pretty good. What do you think? The install was pretty easy. If you have a JK, you're probably not watching this video because it's for a TJ, but if you do, you're gonna find that this install is a little bit easier for you because the light ring does come with the connectors for the JK. For us TJ owners, it's a little more complicated because unfortunately our Jeeps are a little bit older and people aren't making the wiring connections for us, so it requires some cutting and splicing, which is what you saw in the video, what I did. This brake light does have 93 individual LED bulbs that circulate or that have the circumference around this ring. The ring is plastic, and it does fit the 5 on 4.5, 5 on 5, and 5 on 5.5 wheel diameters. It'll just slide right on, no problems, no issues. The install was pretty easy. You saw that I had to do some cutting and some splicing. I went ahead and used a soldering iron and soldered my connection together. The devil's in the details. This install could be as simple as you wanted or a little more difficult in my case. But either way, it was pretty easy. I think it looks good. I hope you like it. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below and I'll answer them as best I can. Otherwise, thanks for watching and we'll catch you next time.